Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to another program of the Islamic Shura Council of Southern California and Shura TV. Today we have something very important for you guys all. We're going to discuss and talk about an important discussion for tonight's program as we gather here with our respected community leaders such as Dr. Muzammil Siddiqi from Islamic Society of Orange County. We got Brother Shakeel Syeed, Brother Rauf Patel, and Brother Abdul Wahab from Muslim Mortuary and Cemetery Committee. Today's program is very important, and I highly encourage you all to please tune in and to also share this program with the greater community. Today's program is going to highlight the importance of emergency burial protocols and what that looks like today. The floor is all yours, Brother Shakeel. Go for it.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Wali. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulih Kareem. First of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing that we are able to communicate through this medium, even in these extraordinary circumstances. And may Allah bless everyone in the Shura Council for making this platform available to Muslim Mortuary and Cemetery Committee to be discussing this important topic in the circumstances that we all are in. Just a brief, quick overview of what MMCC. MMCC is a group of volunteers. All of us who are on the call today, Dr. Muzammil Siddiqi, Brother Rauf Patel, and Brother Abdul Wahab. There are two more board members who are not with us today, Brother Hafiz Faiz Shah and Brother Hamidul Haq. We all are volunteers, and we try to serve the community in their needs during the last rites. And today our purpose is to really go over some important information related to the changes, rapid changes that are happening in the deaths and the burial process in our community. We hope and pray that this will be helpful. This may be first of the few programs that we might discuss. And today, our main focus is going to be only twofold. One is because the number of deaths are increasing in a very rapid way, and we will talk more about it. And as a consequence of this, the capacity of MMCC and the capacity of the Westminster Memorial Park that most of us use for our loved ones are under deep stress. And so we hope and pray that what we are going to be talking today and presenting to you today is in the context of requesting greater understanding from you and more cooperation from you, so that our families, our friends who will be visiting Westminster Memorial Park are not at risk. And these risks are rather fatal. So the purpose of this call is really to protect us, protect ourselves, while we continue to do the best that we can to lay to rest our loved ones. So the two broad areas that we are going to discuss today. One is from the religious aspect as to what are the minimal requirements for a family to fulfill to lay to rest their loved one. And the second aspect is the ground rules, the changing ground rules at the cemetery itself that Brother Abdul Wahab will address. My role today is simply to facilitate conversation as best as possible by the virtue of a brief overview by Dr. Muzammil Siddiqi first as to about the bare minimum requirements of a Muslim to fulfill, to lay to rest their loved one. And then I will follow up with a couple of questions, and this will inshallah help us benefit from this conversation today. So Dr. Siddiqi, in these extraordinary circumstances that we are in today, if you would be so kind to brief us as to what I as a Muslim should do at the bare minimum for my loved one if I'm going to lay to the rest, and what are the minimum that is required of the community to be doing for the deceased.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Thank you very much for Brother Shakeel, and thank you for the Shura Council for arranging this program. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect everyone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove this pandemic from us, from the humanity. It's really a difficult time, it's a challenging time, and we all have to be very understanding and work together and see that what we can do at this time. Muslim burial has 4 requirements. When a person dies, the first thing is that as soon as possible, wash the body. And there is a procedure for washing. That washing should be done. And then after that, there is a kafan, shroud. So the person has to be shrouded, male or female, shrouded in according to the rules that are there. And number 3, after that, we have Salatul Janaza. And Salatul Janaza can be performed any place, in a masjid or outside the masjid, any place you can perform that. And number 4 is the burial. So let's look at in this extraordinary situation, what can we do? As far as the washing is concerned, if the body is in a situation that there is nothing contagious about it, a person is not going to transmit the disease, then wash the body, of course. That's the normal way, that is the proper way. But if it is not possible, because the person has died because of COVID, and the hospital may not give you the body open, they will give you in a bag, and the sealed bag. So when the sealed bag comes, then you are not supposed to open it. Then how to wash the body in the sealed bag situation? You cannot wash. In this situation, you do the tayammum. Do the tayammum, or wet your hand and just go over the bag, if you can do that, if you can touch that. If you cannot touch it, that's just don't touch it. I mean, they might give you some instructions that don't even touch the bag, so you don't touch the bag. So here you can say you cannot neither wash, nor you cannot even do tayammum because of this situation. So number 2, after that, now shrouding. Shrouding, of course, you cannot do that because the body is in the bag. So you cannot open it, you cannot put on a shroud in this situation. If you can cover the plastic bag with a shroud, and you can use that, of course you can do that. Just cover it with a covering, a sheet of shroud. And by that you cover the body, and that is if you can touch and you can put that, you can do that. If it is not possible, then you are going to have Salatul Janaza. Salatul Janaza will be, in most cases of COVID situation, Salatul Janaza is not in the masjid, Salatul Janaza is not any other place, it is at the burial place. It is in the cemetery. In the cemetery, the Salatul Janaza will be done, and Salatul Janaza is brief, simple. 4 takbirat. People, Imam will lead the prayer and people stand in line. Perform the prayer, and then after that you make dua, a short dua, and then body will be taken after that to the grave site. And there the grave is already there, so the body will be lowered into the grave, and then they cover it, put a lid on that, and then after that you throw the dust. مِنْهَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. So dust is thrown. This is if you can come closer to the grave and do that. Otherwise, they will close it. So you can see that Sharia is لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah does not impose a burden upon anyone beyond their capacity. Whatever you can do, do it. Whatever you cannot do because of the extraordinary situation, because of the emergency situation, because of the pandemic, do the minimum on that. And now let me mention that Salatul Janaza, of course, there is a great reward in attending the Salatul Janaza. It is for the kifaya. It is not obligatory upon every person, but some people should do that. The cemeteries are under great pressure. The people who are arranging the burial, they are under the great pressure because there are a lot of bodies that are coming. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy and protect the people, but still there are people coming. Sometimes you have 3, 4, 5 bodies, and there is a pressure on the cemetery, there is a pressure on the people who are working. So in this situation, I know that there is a reward in attending the funeral, but understand the situation. And inshallah, if you have your intention, you will receive the reward for it. So a minimum number of people will go there. Immediate family people or friends. Sometimes they have limit of numbers. Maybe they tell you that 10 people can attend, 20 people can attend. But try to not go too many people. So every funeral is at this time, in emergency situation, is almost like a private funeral. So only those people who are, a small number of people can go, they go there. And the rest of the people, they are not able to perform the janaza prayer, they can make dua. They can make dua from their homes. If you cannot have janaza prayer at all, of course you can do that Salatul Ghaib. But Salatul Ghaib, once people pray on a person, even if they are a small number, you don't pray Salatul Ghaib, you make dua. So make dua for the maghfirah of the person. Allahumma maghfir lahu ya Allah, Allahumma maghfir lahu wa rahamu wa afi wa afan. Take the maghfirah from your home. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that, as if you have been there. Or you can go later. Within 24 hours, you can go to the grave and you can perform the prayers. You can do that. According to some of the scholars, you can do that. So Salatul Janaza is a blessing to do that, but you have to limit the number because of this situation. The same thing is also about the burial, and the authorities, the people at the cemetery, they are under the pressure. They don't want to have things go on for long dua and long stay at the grave, and all of these things. So people do that, bury, and then after that leave. Of course, we have lost the dear one, so we will miss that. But we make dua, inshallah, remember that person, read the Quran, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless that person and forgive that person. So this is the situation. People should bury, help in that. If the family is in need for some financial help, some other help, it should be provided the great reward for that. But keep the number limited. Keep the number small because of this situation. We don't want to have people come back from the cemetery sick, and then they transmit the disease to someone else, and the family gets sick, and then the cycle will go on and on. So we have to control that as much as possible. We can do that. Everything in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we make our effort. Barakallahu fikum.
Jazakumullah khairan, Dr. Siddiqi. This is extremely helpful to have this important overview of the entire process of the 4 aspects. For the first 2, which is the ghusl and shrouding, people are more than welcome to call MMCC directly, and most of you know, but just for those of you who don't know, we have a toll-free number. It's 877-991-6622. 877-991-6622. That's a toll-free number, and they will guide you for the first 2 process. Dr. Siddiqi, some questions, follow-up questions from the conversation that you just had.
Brother
So
Shakeel, let me say that whatever I said, it's also available on the Fiqh Council's website. So there is a fatwa of the Fiqh Council on and the burial of the dead during this COVID situation. So you can go at Fiqh Council of North America .org.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Siddiqui. That's an extremely important resource also. Fiqh Council is spelled as FIQH, Council of North America. You can Google and the website will come up and you'll take a look at it. Some of the follow-up questions, Dr. Siddiqui. One is you mentioned that Salat al-Janaza of the deceased needs to be performed either at masjid or outside the masjid or at the place of burial itself. So some people want only, or some people need, they think they need an imam to lead the janaza prayer. So would you mind telling me that I'm not an imam? Can I lead the Salat al-Janaza if I'm there and there is no imam?
Yes, anybody can lead the prayer. Any adult can lead the Salat al-Janaza. The person who leads the Salat al-Janaza should know how to perform it.
Right.
And it's very simple, 4 takbirat. So you stand the body in front of you, and you stand in the middle of the body, and then after that you say Allahu Akbar, raise your hand, hold them, recite the Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik wa tabarak asmuk wa ta'ala jadduk wa jalla sana'uk wa la ilaha ghayruk, and then after that you say Allahu Akbar. Some people raise the hand, some people don't raise the hand. They say Allahu Akbar, and then you recite Salat Ibrahimiyya, that is Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma barik ala Muhammad. So Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka hamidun majid. And the same is Allahumma barik ala Muhammad, as you do that in your salat. Then there is third takbir. After the third takbir, you recite a special dua. Allahumma ighfir li hayyina wa mayyitina wa shahidina wa ghaibina wa saghirina wa kabirina وذكرنا وأنثانا اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. If you do not know this dua, you simply say اللهم اغفر له وارحم, اللهم اغفر له وارحم, اللهم اغفر له وارحم. Say it 3 times, and then you say Allahu Akbar, and then say Salam on the right side, Salam on the left side. So that is the procedure of Salatul Janaza. After that, you can make a short dua. Allahumma ighfir lahu, Allah forgive him, bless his family, forgive his mistakes, shortcomings, and give him the place in Jannah, make his qabr as a garden from the gardens of Jannah, save him and protect him from the hellfire. This is the basic dua, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless his family, bless his relatives, spouse, children, grandchildren, all of them, you can mention that. So that is our dua. And then after that comes the burial.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Siddiqui. Yeah, so this tells us that anybody can lead, and whoever are the family members that present at this time of burial can
it is salat, my brother Shakeel. It is salat, so it requires wudu. A person must be in wudu.
Yeah. Correct. And we do have a faucet at the Westminster Memorial Park, and people can make wudu if you don't have it, or go to the office and make wudu and so on. But the point is that, quote unquote, we don't need a sheikh and an imam or a maulana to actually lead a Salat al-Janaza. We can, under the circumstances. The second question, Dr. Siddiqui, that comes to mind, some people say, if I have 50 people in Salat al-Janaza or 100 people in Salat al-Janaza, the person will go to Jannah. If there is only 2 people in Janaza, maybe there is a problem. Is there any truth to it?
I mean, it is good to attend the Salatul Janaza and a large number of people praying for the person, making dua for the person. That's good. But in this situation, you have to keep a balance between one aspect and the other aspect. If people go back after the Salatul Janaza sick, then also this will bring, that is the person who is forcing the people, he will be responsible for that. So don't cause problem for the people. La darar wa la darar. You don't receive the problem and you give the problem. Sometimes people transmit this disease very easily, communicate the disease to other people. So that's why you have to keep the number small, and inshallah, the reward will come to the deceased and to you by making dua for that person. So dua from home, inshallah, you receive the reward for that.
Right.
Because of this extraordinary situation. So this is the ruling in for emergencies. This is not a normal situation.
Correct. Yeah, Jazakallah khair. I mean, that's very helpful. So, in case if there are 10 people who are doing Salat al-Janaza at the burial grounds, 6 feet apart, one person in the front leading Salat al-Janaza, and we're done. And then let's say there are 40, 50 people sitting in the cars in the parking lot, which is what we are going to advise them. They can still come, but stay in the car. And they can still make dua sitting in the car, right, Dr. Siddiqi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now,
So there is no qiyam, there is no ruku, there is no sujood, it's just dua. So you can do that from your car. You don't even have to have face the qibla for that.
that's extremely helpful and important point. Yeah, these little things become challenging for many of us who are not religiously educated to realize that we go with the norm, and this is an abnormal situation. So this advice is very helpful. Now, when it comes to the burial, in normal circumstances, we would go stand by the grave and pick dirt, and then, as you rightly mentioned, we throw a handful of dirt in the grave, because again of the COVID situation, the staff does not need or does not want any interaction between the people who are there and the staff in the proximity. So let's say if only 5 people or 10 people throw the dirt and not 100 people like we usually do, is that any issue with that, or it's okay if only 2 people do it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, normally what we have, if 4 people go in the grave, they receive the body and then place it properly, putting the side toward the qibla, the face toward the qibla. That's what you do. This is the normal procedure.
Right.
But people will not be able to touch the body. They will not be able to go inside the grave. So what they have to do, the staff there, they will be the one that will lower the body, and then the body is there in the grave, on the ground, and then after that will be covered, and then if you are able to throw 3 handful of dust, you can do that.
And there is no minimum or maximum number, well, not maximum, but there is no minimum number of people that they should throw dirt, or is there a?
No, anybody. If you don't, even if it's not possible, then you don't go near.
Jazakallah khair. No, this is extremely helpful. So, brothers and sisters who are watching this, the situation is as follows. MMCC used to average anywhere between 10 to 12 burials a month, sometimes 15. Now, as of today, I think in the last week to 10 days, we have laid to rest more than 15 people already. And there are several tomorrow, 3 or 4. So we are averaging 3 to 4 burials a day, which translates to 100 plus burials a month. This is an extraordinary load on the volunteers of MMCC to be rendering its services in collaboration with the Westminster Memorial Park. One of the board members from MMCC, we are all volunteers, we have to be there, legally required, at the time of burial. In most cases, it's Brother Abdul Wahab who has the privilege to have his work, flexible work, so he's able to go all the time. So what is happening now, the Memorial Park is going to do burials for Muslims. In most cases, our ask from them is that these burials need to happen quickly. right? Not 4 days later, but the same day or the following day at the most. And then they have a huge load on the non-Muslim burials that they are also doing. So the load has increased on them exponentially. Their staffing level is at the same. The administrative staff is not working in flesh in the office. Only a couple of people are working, the rest of them are all working from remote. So the handful crew, the ground crew, who does the digging, who does the filling, who does drive the tractor and all that, like 4 people. So those 4 people in a span of 10 to 12 years daytime, they have to bury anywhere between 15 to 20 on some days. It is impossible that they can do that, especially in our cases. Why? Because when our traditional burials are little long, the body comes, we carry it, we make salat, we make dua, then the whole burial process, then we make dua again, and so on. If that is not shortened, there are 2 options for Muslims now. One option is to do the traditional burial with all the norms and do maybe only 2. So Westminster Memorial Park has told us they can only handle only 2 burials a day for us, for Muslims, under the normal circumstances. If you want to minimize the time from an approximate 2 to 3 hour burial time to 1 hour burial time, they might be able to do 3 or 4 as an exception, as a favor to us. So I, as a Muslim, has 2 options. One option is if I want to bury my loved one as quickly as possible, which is what Islamically preferred, and Dr. Siddiqi can correct me. And if I want my whole family members to go and I need to have the whole janaza and the whole dua and the normal process, then that means that my loved one's burial may not happen the same day or the following day in 24, 36 hours. It may happen in 4 days or 5 days or 6 days. So this is a challenge, and this is where we need your cooperation. So Dr. Siddiqi, last question, and then I will go to Brother Abdul Wahab. So in cases like this, if I have lost my loved one and I prefer to have a full normal janaza versus a delayed burial of 6 days, which one should I be preferring? That I should do under the extraordinary circumstances, do with minimal rather than go for the normal?
Islamic way is to bury as soon as possible. This is the ikramul mayyit. This is the honor of the mayyit, to bury the mayyit as soon as possible.
Right.
If for some reason you cannot do it, then of course you can delay it. But the delaying for days and weeks, that's not the way. It should not be done. So if it is preferred to have short, brief ceremony and burial done same day or next day, rather than waiting for a long ceremony, big ceremony, and having after 2 or 3 days. Better is to do it sooner than later.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Siddiqi. So brothers and sisters, as you heard from Dr. Siddiqi, that it is better and it is preferred under the circumstances, especially to get the burial done as quickly as possible in a shortest period of time. And the only way we can do that is if you cooperate with us and come only in super small numbers. So when we say super small numbers, no more than 10 people who would be able to physically get out the car and come toward the grave and do the rest of the things, right? 10 people. What happens also is when we have multiple burials from the community, then the family and the friends of these multiple burials come at the same time. So now you have a gathering of 100 people, 200 people. And this is becoming extremely, extremely challenging for all of those 100, 200 people and the staff of the Memorial Park and the volunteers of MMCC. So we beg you, we appeal you for the protection of yourself, your loved ones, and those who are there. They are all Muslim brothers and sisters who are coming there. and for the volunteers of MMCC, cooperate with us and at least for now, until further notice, cooperate with us, and inshallah ta'ala, this will be helpful for us. So now, Brother Abdul Wahab, now that our numbers have increased 3 times almost today, and in 2 weeks, we don't know what it looks like. The experts say that the winter break impact will begin to show up in mid-January in the next week to 10 days or so. But under the current circumstances, please give us a quick walkthrough that I lost my loved one. I called MMCC. MMCC said, the body is there. We'll get it washed, kafan, and then they bring it to the Westminster Memorial Park. What do I need to do, and what you can help me with there?
Before I go furthermore for that, I just want to explain to you that one of the main reasons that we are in the conference call today, because Westminster has sent us a letter that they can accept only 2 today, because one of the main reason is our burial takes within 24 hours. Majority of the non-Muslims, our burial takes about 10 to 12 days. They all make the assignment, this is timing, and our timings are very unique, sometimes 11, 12, 1, and 2. That's why we just came in the conference call to inform all the people that please help us for that one. Second thing that just want to bring it to your attention, that from now on, it's been going on for about a month or so, that we do not allow to go to 4 people on the ground anymore. Every one of them are in the box, because one of the main reasons is that we found out some of the people were COVID, and they did not mention to us. And that caused a lot of problem for us. The third thing is this one, that one of the main reasons is that every one of them was getting together right close to the cemetery area. And that's why we received the letter today to give us all the information that we're not going to allow maximum 10 people. Other people are going to be sitting in the car. And that's one of the main reasons that we are meeting today. Okay, here the normal process is like this. Majority calls are going directly to Islamic Society of Orange County. And it goes directly to Brother Gulaid. I would say about 20 to 20% call comes to us for that one. Either I receive the call or Sister Nigar receive the call for that one. If it's 8, some people, they ask what other process are, like 2 of them. I explain to them the process is that where the body is, the person is at home or at the hospital. So we inform the mortuary, to mortuary like Olive Tree or other mortuaries are they wanted. So there are mortuaries, we inform them. They send them 2 forms. One is called the release form, and second one is called the vital forms. Release form means that the mortuary is giving the family is giving a permission to mortuary to pick up the body and take it to the mortuary. The vital form is give the whole information about the person was born, citizenship, social security number. Based on that one, they apply the burial certificate and the death certificate for that one. And the family informed that we want to bury tomorrow or day after tomorrow and so forth. So they informed the mortuary. Then mortuary informed us for that one. And the mortuary tells them to go to Westminster, pay their dues and everything, because Westminster was going to ask you to spell out the forms and tell them and give them permission to bury the person. Person has to be, whoever signed the person has to be kith and kin, not anybody else. No friends, nothing for that one. They will not accept it. They were going to verify, because the reason is it's a legal matter. So you could not bury the person, any one of them. We want to, it has to be kith and kin for that one. Then we are informed by Sister Nigar that we want to buy the grave for that one. She authorized it and informed one of our volunteers that you need to go over there and help them to bury the person for that one. So the timings are given at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 1 o'clock. I will give you one example. On Sunday, we buried at 10 o'clock. It takes 1 hour to fulfill complete the whole process. So we start the second one 11 o'clock. Finish the process. We start at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So on that time, approximately 300 people showed up in all 4 for process. And employee went ahead and told them, we cannot handle this one because out of one, we don't know who the COVID is and who not COVID is for that one, because we informed later on that, for example, the person got a heart attack and goes to the hospital and died. So they don't even know whether they did not get a chance to test it. Later on, the coroner office sent that one and said, yeah, the person had a COVID. So that's why they decided to put all the bodies from now on inside the box, and the crew take it and body and then put it in the ground themselves. So nobody's allowed to go inside the ground anymore.
Jazakallah khair. And this is also very important, I think. Traditionally, Dr. Siddiqi, as you mentioned, that loved ones of the deceased enter into the grave to place the body in the proper direction toward the Qibla and so on. And that is not possible now. In your view, and from the religious view, under these special circumstances, the body is now being lowered down with the help of the tractor directly inside the grave. So is this is okay or not?
Yes, of course. It is because there is no other way. Other things is contagious. It is going to cause problem for the people. So for this reason, it is okay to put the body in a box, casket, and then let it be lowered in its own automatic way. They put it on the belt and they lower the belt, and that's how it goes down. What they can do when the body is in the casket, they can turn toward the right side so that the face is toward the Qibla. If it is possible, that's okay.
If I may speak, please.
Please, Brother.
Usually, all our bodies are facing toward the Kaaba. So when all the mosques, when they put the body in, they show to the family, and then whether it is COVID, then they do the same way, or non-COVID the same way. We just face it toward the Kaaba. We put it in such a way that when the bodies are over, it's toward the facing the Kaaba.
Good.
So, but Rauf, would you like to share any experiences that you have encountered at the Melrose Memorial Park?
I just want to say thanks to brother and sister that we have to have lots of patience, especially nowadays. If somebody passed away on Friday, now it is almost impossible to bury them on Saturday, Sunday. It used to be, if somebody buried on Friday or Thursday night, we were able to bury on Saturday or Sunday. But now, I had experience with Melrose Abbey that one of the brother passed away on Friday morning, and I called Melrose Abbey, and they said that they already have pre-arrangement with different community, not a Muslim community. As Brother Shakeel had said, that Muslim people are burying same day or hopefully next day or day after. But the Christianity, they always wait for the weekend. And because of the COVID, too many burials are there, so they are pre-arranged for Saturday and Sunday. So if your loved ones passed away, please have lots of patience, and we will try to bury them Monday or Tuesday. Like Melrose Abbey told me when I called on Friday, they said we don't have time until Thursday. So almost 6 days later. But Alhamdulillah, they arranged it, and we were able to do it today. My other suggestion is what Brother Dr. Siddiqi and Brother Shakeel had said, that try to have less people in the funeral. Janaza prayer, you can do the CDC guidelines, 6 feet, but during the carrying the janaza, it is almost impossible. And I was telling everybody today that please have 6 feet distance. So, Brother Dr. Siddiqi, I have a question for you. In this case, can we take the truck or the janaza in the truck close to the graveyard, and then few people can carry it and put the body inside the grave instead of carrying, far away?
Yeah, I mean, carrying the body on the shoulders all the way to the graveside, it's a great thing. It is, you participate in that, and there is a blessing in that. But if it is not possible, if it is going to cause difficulties and problems for you and for others, then use the vehicle. Let the vehicle go all the way to the grave and body lowered from there. So that's extraordinary situation.
Jazakallah khair. Anything else, Robai, you want to follow
Yeah.
up? Or you're good?
I'm good.
Okay. I think that reminds me what Brother Rauf has just highlighted, and what Abdul Wahab also mentioned, that because this COVID is something that we cannot see, we just don't know who has it, who does not. I'm sure nobody wants to come with positive COVID in a public gathering to impact others. It may be happening innocently. We received news from one of the communities here in Southern California, where someone had COVID and they attended a funeral. Obviously, they did not know, and as a consequence, some people got infected. And from the people who got infected, one of the brothers passed away in few days. Now there is, we don't know for fact the lot of details, but so is the story. And this is very, very possible that it can happen anywhere. Innocently, I may be passing on my infection to somebody else, and Allah knows best, but I may become the reason for somebody else's death. And that's a very heavy burden to take on our shoulders and in our heart. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us all, as Dr. Siddiqi said, that it is such a challenging situation. We need your cooperation very, very much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call us. There is a phone number on your screen. Use that number. If not, then those of you who knows us, please feel free to call us as well. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have, assist you as much as possible. But we need your cooperation for your own good self and for the health of others in the community. And inshallah, we will keep you posted and updated as things change. Once things get streamlined, inshallah, we will go back to normal. We want to keep the Muslim burial as much traditional as possible, inshallah, and as soon as possible. And we will do that, hopefully, with your cooperation, inshallah ta'ala. So if anyone has any closing remarks, please do so. Otherwise, we will close with dua from Dr. Siddiqi, inshallah. Hearing none, Dr. Siddiqi, if you would be so kind to exit us out with your time.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار. اللهم ارحمنا فأنت بنا راحم والطف بنا بما جرت به المقادير والطف بنا بما جرت به المقادير. O Allah, have mercy upon us, because you are the most merciful. O Allah, make the decrees easy for us. O Allah, keep us on the right path. O Allah, bless us, keep us and our families safe and secure, inshallah, and keep us away from every difficulty, every affliction, every problem of this world and the hereafter. رب اغفر وارحم وانت خير الراحمين. رب اغفر وارحم وانت خير الراحمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Siddiqi, Brother Abdul Wahab, Brother Rauf Patel, and may Allah bless the brothers and sisters of Shura Council to help us to get this word out. I would urge those who are viewing this, please watch and then share it with 10 other friends. If you are a masjid leader, please make sure that your entire community sees this. And if you have any questions and advice, do please visit mmccusa.org and share us with your feedback. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.